The Hangar 84 expansion blueprint. I love the words top secret. Knowing things that others do not is so satisfying. A rock. Fascinating. Wait, how did this get here? They will be safer here, out of your reach. I could easily win the presidential race on my own merits, but a little extra help never hurts. Particularly when it was given to you directly by the FBI. These documents are my key to the Oval Office, metaphorically speaking, of course. Touch it, and they will be calling you Lefty. Officially, this is a lovingly crafted replica, donated by the local Carpenters Guild. Unofficially, well, if Truman cannot tell the difference, he does not deserve the desk. Leave the book alone. Nothing is going on that would require such extreme measures. Chuck is exactly where he wants to be. Leave the book alone. Nothing is... That painting has been on that wall for generations. Let us keep it that way, shall we? I'm afraid we do not yet know each other well enough for such intimate lighting. I have nothing to say to the townspeople at the moment. So just keep it shut. What should I do first? Joseph told me earlier he saw the barber and his associate hanging in the park. That could be a good starting point. However, I could visit Father Jenkins since the church is right around the corner. Decisions. Do not touch, don't touch. Oh, that gives me a headache.
Okay, you got this. First, you nail this role. Prove yourself and steal the show. Second, you land the lead next year and... Whoa. Hi, Liz. I mean, who are you?
I suppose the electoral propaganda failed to give you a clue. I am Mayor Eliza Barrett, and you are?
Jeff, damn it! Wilberforce Peyton Millhouse III.
Really? There's more than one Wilberforce Peyton Millhouse?
Not anymore.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Peyton?
Yeah, sorry about that. First week and all. What can I do for you, Miss May?
Funny, Mr. Peyton, but I do not recall hiring you.
Of course not. The studio hired me.
Studio?
Did I say studio? I meant the sheriff. Sorry, it's just the, jet lag. Come on, Jeff. I know it's the first week, but get it together.
Since you are new in town, you must learn the local traditions. One of them being to vote for me in the upcoming election.
Vote for you? But I just got here. Shouldn't I know what my options are first?
Mr. Peyton, you have two options. Vote for me or open the mystery box.
Ooh, mystery box. What's inside?
Well, I am not really supposed to tell anyone, but for one of our brave firefighters. Inside the box is a pair of silver bracelets, a parade with you at the head and Sheriff Coltrane escorting you, and a free one-way ticket out of town.
Oh. Yeah, on second thought, I will definitely not be taking the mystery box.
I am glad we understand each other. Keep up the good work.
Miss Mayor, before you leave, would you tell me the story of Don't Touch?
Don't Touch was a very special bear. Brave, gentle, wise. He had a true gift for stealing people's hearts. He died, a victim of the fires he fought so hard to extinguish. He had already gotten most of the townsfolk and his cubs to safety, and we could all see he was on his last legs when he saved Sam. But then, he rushed back into the building, and it collapsed on top of him.
That's horrible. Poor Don't Touch.
You have some big shoes to fill, Mr. Payton. Do not disappoint. There is no rest for the wicked.
Mayor Barrett, you blasphemous, self-absorbed, treacherous heathen! You have a lot of nerve walking in here.
And here I thought the church accepted everyone, despite their past sins. Clearly, you priests are all talk and no trousers.
Good to see you, old fiend.
Enough compliments, Father. I expect you know why I am here, correct?
I don't need messages from the divine to figure this one out. It's been almost 4 years since the election, so...
I trust your congregation knows who is the best option to continue leading this town.
Straight to the point and always self-serving. Two of your most charming characteristics. That said, to be honest, I feel as though it might be time for a change.
Remember that time you were stuck on that Hawaiian volcano? When your life was hanging by a thread? Who was there to help you in your time of need?
Eliza,
Do not think of me as a politician right now, but as a friend. I want the best for you and the best for me. And, coincidentally, the best for both of us is also what is best for our town.
Very well. You have my support, and I'll make sure the congregation knows who to vote for. That said, I will need time to persuade them. Shouldn't take too long. Come back tomorrow and I'll give you a status report.
Glad we are on the same page.
Eliza, I may have my doubts about you occasionally, but I know you really do want what's best for all of us. Heck, if you ran for Pope, I'd even vote for you then.
Maybe someday, but the presidency comes first. Besides, I do not care for the hat. Remember the day you decided to become a priest?
Like it was yesterday. I thought I was a dead man. My life flashed before my eyes and everything. But I prayed to the Lord and I was saved.
I think your exact words were, God, I know I might have strayed a bit. Okay, maybe a lot. But for the love of everything I hold dear, if you save me, I will devote my life to you.
And you guys showed up 2 seconds later. If I had only waited 2 more seconds.
What were you doing on that volcano?
I was an innocent young man, wide-eyed and new to the world. I just left home to go on Rumspringa. Maybe I was running a little wild, with all the partying, the illegal buggy races, the women, the drinking, the gambling, the men, the cobra fights.
Yes, perhaps just a tad.
No regrets, Eliza. No regrets at all.
Something has been on my mind lately.
Little Elizabeth, I assume?
She's not so little anymore, and I feel like I am losing control over her.
Well, with pastoral counseling, you have 2 options. 1, we try to work through your issues using a combination of common sense and advice. 2, we can just grab that exorcism in a box I have in back and...
I suppose I could just talk about it.
Killjoy.
I think the biggest problem is her academic performance.
I see. Have you tried talking with her teachers?
Of course I have. But according to Dr. Dixon, and I quote, "She's thicker than frozen peanut butter. At this point, I am considering sending her to a nunnery."
Anything but that, Eliza. If your daughter were to join the church, she would turn it on its head. And what's worse, she'll probably finagle her way into becoming Pope.
I admit that would be bad for the faithful. But it would also create marvelous networking opportunities for me. How can I make her stop working at Michael's?
Perhaps try telling her to stop.
As if she would listen. Besides, knowing her, she would end up owning her own franchise and become wildly successful. Just to spite me.
But wait, wouldn't that actually be a good thing?
Not helping, Father. Not helping. Let us say I am considering the exorcism. What comes in the kit?
Some holy batrachotroxin water, a stake carved from the cross Jesus was crucified on, a pistol with 13 silver bullets, the tips and tricks for novice exorcists booklet, and the phone number for the Vatican customer service hotline.
Do you have any non-lethal solutions?
I'm afraid the Vatican does not deal in half-hearted measures when it comes to things like these.
Are you sure there are no other options?
You asked for my opinion, and my personal recommendation is torture. I have a ton of alternatives. Judas Cradle, Blood Eagle, Tickle Torture, Chinese Water Torture.
Father, might that be based on her hitting you with a cross in front of the congregation last week?
No.
Are you tired of always serving the same dry wafers every communion?
Eliza, we've been over this. I know you don't want to lose your corporate sponsorship, but
Why not switch to the rich, sweet, creamy taste of Twonkies? One bite, and you will know that heaven is real.
how many more times do we have to go through this?
Well, I have a lifetime contract, so...
Uh-huh. So, same time next year?
Same time next year. I am Eliza Barrett, and I approve this message. You know, Father, I have come to a realization. It might finally be time for me to confess my misdeeds and seek forgiveness for my sins.
You almost got me, Eliza.
One day, maybe.
I think it's too late for you.
I was under the impression that anyone who confessed was granted absolution for their sins.
Well, that's true, but... Well, if we start right now, we might be able to finish before one of us dies from old age.
Tell me, Father, how do you keep your flock so loyal to you?
Well, we have a lot of programs aimed at benefiting our community. There are seminars, motivational talks, pamphlets, information sessions. And that's not all. We've launched an amazing remote conversion program in cooperation with the Army.
What kind of seminars are we talking about?
Oh, we offer many kinds, ranging from marital advice to living a pious life. We even discuss science in some sessions.
Living a pious life? What a dull subject.
It's basically a series of reminders that if you don't behave according to the Holy Scriptures, you, well, you know, go to hell.
So much for instilling hope in your flock.
Well, after 3 hours of striking terror in their feeble hearts and minds, we eventually reach the Q&A. That's where I really shine. What can we do to avoid going to hell, Father?
And then comes the talk about redemption through donation. Clever. A science seminar? Is the church finally emerging from the Middle Ages?
That seminar examines and disproves many of the fallacies of modern science.
So, just to be clear, when you say fallacies, you mean...
Debunking asinine theories, of course. The Big Bang, gravity, evolution, dinosaurs. You know, all those things you really can't see or prove.
That is quite funny, coming from someone who worships an all-powerful figure who no one has ever seen. With the number of seminars you hold, I'm surprised none are about the apocalypse.
Oh, we do have one. It's the Four Horsemen Sin Seminar. However, that's not a class so much as a front.
A front? For what?
Me and 3 other local clergymen play poker in the church basement.
So, I gather that means you are still struggling with your gambling problem.
I don't have a gambling problem. In fact, I bet you 5 grand right here that I don't.
Apparently, some former Navy man is starting a wild new religion.
It's not a religion so much as a cult based around evading taxes.
As opposed to?
Not funny, Eliza. These guys make the Mormons look reasonable and grounded.
Do they now?
The hell they do! Enough of this topic.
Tell me about those pamphlets.
They advertise our weekly meetings to discuss our Lord and Savior Jesus.
Do you also have one on leprechauns?
Don't be silly, Eliza. Everyone knows those are extinct.
Really? But just the other day, Amos said one of them made off with his pot of gold.
May the Lord be with us. I'll need a week to prepare. Let's see. We need steaks, holy water, protein bars, bottled water.
Are you sure you can handle a hunt at your age?
I could use that pot of gold. Thanks to your daughter, I've had to replace that stained glass at least 6 times.
What can you tell me about your military work?
I suppose you mean our holy flock of the sacred drop operation?
Why, no. I meant the other secret collaboration between the military and the church.
Yeah, but we... Haha, Eliza, you big kidder. That's not, thing. Oh, goddamn. Fine. I'll tell you. It's an elite flock of specially trained pigeons. They carry the word of God and drop it to those in need. Unfortunately, we've suspended the project for extra training. Apparently, they're dropping something other than books.
You mentioned motivational talks?
Oh, let me tell you, those motivational speeches really get the blood pumping.
I do not mean to be rude, but this church is empty whenever I stop by. Who is attending your speeches?
Attending? Oh, you've got the wrong idea. I give the talks to myself in front of the mirror every morning. Without them, I would have quit this job years ago.
Is your faith not reason enough to wake up each morning and face the day?
Faith doesn't pay the bills, Eliza.
Father, perhaps it is time for you to take a vacation.
Well, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Vow of poverty, remember?
Is that not what the little ritual with the plate is all about? I believe it is time I return to my duties.
Go then, and may God watch over you.
Pride, avarice, lust, envy, and wrath. 5 out of 7 is not bad, but I should return after I have collected the whole set. Pride, avarice, lust, envy, and wrath. 5 out of 7 is not bad, but I should return after I have collected the whole set. The Hangar 84. Knowing. I do not have.
No, Bombini! You capito niente! You have to go down in the third round. Third round, capiche?
Come on, mister. We've been at this for hours. I heard in places I didn't even know existed.
Fine, take 5, Bambini.
You'll pay for my sister's medicine if we do this, right?
I am a man of my word, Bombino.
All right then. For Sandy!
Okay, for Sandy.
Would someone care to explain exactly what is going on here?
Niente, Syndica.
Actually,
we were just teaching them about the beauty of sports. Right, Bombini?
Yes?
In that case, I expect you to be on your best behavior. You are representing our town, and therefore me. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you will excuse me.
Arrivederci, Miss Mayor. Ah, what did I tell you, Marco? It's about time we met La Syndica.
Sindaca, that is Italian for...
Please excuse us. It means mayor. Our grasp of English is never mind.
Forgive our manners. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Frank Cooper, and mi amico here is Marco DeLuca. To what do we owe such a distinguished visit?
Gentlemen, as you may know, there is an election coming, and I am looking to extend my influence.
Ah, yes, the election. What do you think, Marco? Should we vote for her?
We could vote for her. What might be in it for us if we did?
Are you insinuating a bribe of some sort?
Bribe? What an ugly word.
I'd say it's more of a we scratch your back, you scratch ours kind of situation. This town could certainly benefit from one of our company's specialties: rental security and protection. Most businesses are already on board, but we're having some trouble convincing Linda Valentine.
I suppose if I manage to persuade Miss Valentine to sign, you might be persuaded to vote for me.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, you have yourselves a deal.
I like you, Syndica. Make sure she signs everywhere she needs to.
Since you are new in town, we should get to know each other. It seems as though your new life happened rather quickly. It is almost as if you just appeared one day in that lovely mansion, with your new business fully operational. That is unusual, is it not?
All right, enough of this nonsense. Are you wearing a wire? Are you setting us up?
Marco, save your spy games for the Bombini. It's a long story, but suffice to say we had a disagreement with our former employers in Chicago.
Yeah, luckily for us, the feds offered us protection and a relocation package in exchange for our collateral.
And what exactly was this collateral, if I may ask?
Oh, some client lists, a couple phone numbers, a jar of 140-year-old sourdough starter. Nothing big, just enough for them to help us relocate.
Truly, Il Amico Ortega went above and beyond our expectations.
Why did you choose this town for your relocation?
Agent Ortega told us the sheriff here is one of the best law enforcement officers he's ever seen, and that he wouldn't trust anyone else to protect us.
Indeed. We have enjoyed the lowest crime rate in the country for over 20 years, thanks to Amos.
Knowing you and Ortega share the same opinion of him puts our minds at ease, Syndica.
Just be sure to keep that information to yourselves. If Sheriff Coltrane knew I was satisfied with his performance, he might start slacking off.
How peculiar. Agent Ortega said the exact same thing.
I'm interested in hearing more about your company.
Ah, yes, Rhino Co., my pride and joy.
At your current expansion rate, nothing seems to be out of your reach. And, as a potential investor, I am very interested in where your company might be headed in the future.
Sure, we're getting into the mining business, as well as insurance and protection services. Of course, we will not abandon the classics. Tourism, construction, funeral services, and contract killing.
What was that last one again?
Contract billing, boss. You meant contract billing.
Ah, yes, mi scuse. The English language is very difficile.
I must ask, why a barber shop? You do not strike me as a people person, Mr. Cooper.
Ah, Syndica. There's something about holding a razor near someone's neck that makes them tell you things they wouldn't even tell their mothers.
Apparently, loud screams, moans, and banging noises are heard from your home every night. The explanation people seem to have is that you are sacrificing animals to the devil.
You wouldn't have a name for the unsavory individuals who spread them, would you?
No, I cannot quite remember. Michael. It was Michael Walker, owner of Mike's Diner. You will find his home 3 streets down from your barbershop to the left.
Well then, Marco. I believe we have a lake trip ahead of us soon.
I do not wish to be rude, but your mansion does not exactly fit in with the rest of the houses.
It was not designed for this country, of course. We had a home shipped from Italy, brick by brick.
The town planner would die if he saw how it clashed with the other homes.
He would not be the first to die because of that house.
Apologies, Syndica. He meant that the previous owners are no longer with us. Natural causes, of course.
If you are hiring, I have a potential employee you might be interested in.
Ah, yes. I have heard of these political appointments. So who is Latalpa you wish to install?
My offspring.
Well, having the mayor's daughter on the payroll could be advantageous. But let me ask you this. What does she bring to the table?
Oh, she has marvelous problem-creating skills.
Don't you mean problem-solving?
I wish I did.
Troublemakers have their uses, Syndica. I'm sure we have something for her.
One last thing before we finalize this, though. Very important. What is your favorite Italian dish?
Tagliatelios.
Tagliatelle? No! Never! Not in a million years!
We need to talk about your pet.
Sparkles? What's wrong with La Mia Gatta?
Oh, she is a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day, Syndica. She'd never hurt a fly. She'd never hurt a fly. Without reason.
I shall see you gentlemen another time.
Arrivederci. Was that an uppercut I saw you with?
Oh, hello. Mayor Barrett?
Miss Moore, dear, you really should get that cough looked at.
I'd love to, but we don't have insurance. The hospital won't even let me in the front door. Any news on our situation?
Corona's town hall stubbornly refuses to take my calls lately. Something smells rotten in that snake hole, but I have no interest in going there to find out what.
They don't want us back, do they?
Do not jump to such dire conclusions, young lady. Tell me, are your accommodations sufficient?
Oh, the high school gym is fine, Mayor Barrett. But are you sure the coyotes are okay with us sleeping there?
Of course they are. I swear that team must be cursed. Can you even imagine something worse than losing every single game you play? That is what I thought. Well, do take care, Miss Moore.
This morning is a lot cloudier than I anticipated.
There's a predator nearby.
Good morning, Dr. Dixon. And you must be Ms. Peanut, the new principal.
In the flesh. And you are?
Eliza Barrett, your mayor, like it or not.
Oh, right, of course. Good to meet you, Mayor Barrett.
Well, I must say, I'm surprised to see you here already. I had expected you to stay in Australia until the beginning of the school year.
I know, but I just couldn't wait to get started. I like to go in and get the lay of the land before a hunt begins. The climate, the plants, the hiding spots for prey animals to shelter from the beast.
I beg your pardon, the beast?
Yes, the beast. A student with unprecedented powers of chaos and destruction, who compulsively seeks the thrill of confusing their prey and driving it to madness. Many have fallen to her attacks. Students, teachers, principals. But she's met her match in me, Ms. Mayor. I'll succeed where all others have failed.
Well, it seems that Dr. Dixon has neglected to inform you that this beast is my only child. And she has a proper name, you know.
You of all people saying that.
Being small is an advantage. Hit what you have right in front of you, just like you did to Mako earlier.
Back already, Ms. Barrett?
I have a few more questions I would like to ask you. You should probably save this enthusiasm until you really need it. The school year will not start for over a month yet.
Oh, I can't. I'm excited to get cracking. It just feels wrong to be sitting here and soaking up the sun when the beast, I mean, your daughter is on the loose.
You may believe you are capable of dealing with my daughter, but I assure you, she is far worse than your average juvenile delinquent.
Listen to her. She's actually right about this.
I guess it couldn't hurt to see when my predecessors went wrong and learn from their mistakes.
You've already made the biggest blunder possible. Coming here in the first place.
What would you like to know about my daughter?
Just the normal sorts of things you need to know when hunting specific quarry. You know, her diet, habitat, behavioral patterns in the wild. Oh, is she a social animal? Does she have a pack, or is it more of a lone wolf situation?
I do hope, between all those metaphors, that you remember we are dealing with my child, not a wild animal.
That's what parents always say about their kids. Teachers, however, we tend to see the truth.
If by habitat you mean where she spends her time, she's usually either working at Michael's or grounded.
Except for during school hours, I reckon.
If you actually manage to catch my offspring inside the school building, I suggest you have a fire extinguisher close at hand.
A chronic truant with pyromaniac tendencies, eh? Interesting.
How can I describe my offspring's behavior? Think of whatever a normal person would do, and then expect her to do the opposite.
Well, that's not uncommon. Are there any patterns to her behavior that you've observed, and habits or...
Forget about her habits, Miss Peanut. You should be worried about the things you can't predict. Like the time she trained all the dogs in town to start howling at 2 a.m. Or how about the time she took hostages until we got rid of all the broccoli in the cafeteria? And there was this time she found a screwdriver and just started randomly removing screws all over town. I'm still too scared to sit in my own chair.
Now that is what I call a lifetime of crime.
Lifetime? All of that happened just last week, Miss Peanut.
I am not sure why her diet is important, but I pack her a healthy lunch with fresh produce every day.
And she returns it all to Lorraine and uses the refund to buy Twonkies.
You are telling me that you watch my child stuff herself with cake every day and never once thought to intervene? Very negligent of you, Dr. Dixon.
I never said she ate them. She feeds most of them to the class hamster in exchange for test answers.
So that is why my offspring fails her exams? Because she gets her answers from a rodent?
No, if she did that, she might actually pass. Garrick outscores her on everything. I have no idea what she does with the answers, but she sure doesn't read them.
My offspring has excellent people skills. She gets that from me, of course. But yes, I suppose she has a pack.
Look, Miss Peanut, Betty's pack is mostly a collection of random animals.
What animals?
I've seen her with pigs, chickens, cows, coyotes, raccoons, pigeons. Hell, I even saw her trying to befriend that cougar yesterday.
That was why she came home with her clothes all shredded? She told me you attacked her with a cheese grater.
Oh, come on, Eliza. That's ridiculous. You know damn well the school doesn't have the budget for cheese graters.
Bringing predators and prey together without anyone trying to eat each other? Fascinating.
I think it would be best if you just observed my offspring on your own. I would not want to ruin any surprises. In fact, I would prefer to talk about something else. Why did you choose such a difficult, demanding job?
It all started when I was in preschool. We'd had the worst relief teacher ever. No idea what he was doing. Drank all day. Can't fully blame him though, we were quite the rowdy mob. Well, I guess we got to be too much for him because one day he just vanished. Along with everyone's lunch, the tuck shop's cash box, the principal's earrings, and the pool.
He stole a pool? Why would he do that? And more importantly, how?
I don't know how, but I'm guessing he swiped the pool because he also took our mascot, Croco. Oh, poor old Croc. I hope he's all right wherever he is.
Maybe. Although crocodile leather was terribly trendy a few years back. Oh, pardon me. I was just thinking aloud. You were saying?
Anyway, there weren't any other substitutes available, so I took it upon myself to lead the lesson. I did such a good job that they let me take over the class for the rest of the year. The second I held a ruler in my hands, I felt the same rush of power drovers do when they use a cattle prod. That's when I knew I was born to be a teacher.
Why are you so confident about your chances with my offspring?
Well, you obviously hired me because of my achievement record.
And because no one else would take the job.
I've turned plenty of students' lives around. Chronic absentees, kids with sleeping problems, kids who repeated the same grade several times. Any problem you can think of, I've probably already solved.
Give me an example of how you helped an absentee student.
Well, there was little Timmy Lung. He never showed at school. They even had to put a blank square next to his name in the yearbook instead of a picture. Well, I decided that if he wasn't going to come to school, we'd just bring school to him. I hired a team of good, strong blokes and had them build a new school around Timmy's house overnight. He never missed a day after that, let me tell you.
Impressive. But you will certainly not do that around my house. Or my pool.
Damn it!
Oh, see, I told you she wouldn't go for that one.
I guess we should return those bikinis then.
What sleeping problems did you solve exactly?
Ah, that was when I was working in the Philippines. This one girl, Ligaya, just kept skipping class. She was always in bed, so we thought she had some sleeping disorder. But then her mother told us Ligaya had never been sick a day in her life. So I decided to investigate. I climbed a tree and waited outside her window for days, tracking her movements. In the end, I realized she wasn't sleeping at all. She was just far too emotionally attached to her bed.
That does sound rather unusual. So, how did you handle it?
It wasn't hard at all. I called an electrician, a mate of mine, and had him modify the bed a bit.
But what would that... Oh, I see. Out of curiosity, how many volts?
About 200, anytime she touched so much as a pillow. She begged not to have to go home and sleep there.
Cruel, but effective. Repeating a grade multiple times. That sounds like a difficult case.
Oh yeah, that one really was a challenge. See, I was part of this teacher exchange program and they placed me in Jacksonville, Florida. One poor lad, Joseph, had been in the 3rd grade so long he was growing a mustache. He claimed he couldn't focus because he was possessed by demons. Now, kids will say or do anything to get out of schoolwork, but he took it too far. One day, I announced a pop quiz and his head started spinning around like a top.
That's kind of an overreaction to a pop quiz, if you ask me.
What did you do with such a disruptive student?
Oh, we set him to some good hard work. Sweeping, mopping, few light repairs here and there. All that physical labor helped clear his head. If idle hands are the tool of the devil, young Joseph wasn't much good to him anymore.
Yeah, but did it help him move up a grade?
No. Unfortunately, he disappeared not long after he started making progress. I still carry his first passing test around with me, just in case I ever see him again.
Perhaps you should drop by Town Hall sometime. You may find a little surprise. It has been lovely to meet you, Ms. Peanut, but I must be off. If you would excuse me.
Oh, wait. One more thing before you leave. Could you tell me where I might stock up on rations?
Any place except Mike's Diner. It can be quite dangerous if your system is not accustomed to the local cuisine.
Oh, please. I've been boxing kangaroos and surviving on raw snakes since I was a sprog. I'm sure I can handle whatever American cuisine is.
Listen, kid, you got it now, but don't get cocky. You ain't gonna have it forever.
What? My fighting days are over? They've only just begun!
Miss Moore, I must insist that you go to the hospital immediately.
But with no money and no insurance. Besides, I think my brother and friends are working on a solution.
I see. Well, it seems you young people have everything in order. I shall be on my way now.
Have a wonderful... day. Mayor Barrett.
Seriously, should I be worried about the girl? On one hand, those gentlemen may be unorthodox, but they would not want a child's life on their hands. On the other, things tend to go more smoothly when I take care of matters myself.
Hey, you want to argue with me, or you want to help your little friend?
I have no time. And what are you children doing?
My sister keeps getting worse. The hospital won't let us in, and we can't go back home. So we're dealing with the problem ourselves.
Initiative. That is a quality often lacking in today's youth.
You're the mayor! Isn't there anything you can do?
I promise to look into it, but that is all I can do.
Uh-huh, sure. Did you need something?
How are you kids settling in?
Not to complain, Miss Mayor, but it could be better.
Unfortunately, I am afraid you must make do for the moment.
Miss Mayor, this might be a weird question, but what is our situation exactly? It's just that ever since we got kicked out of Corona, we don't know which end is up. Are we still orphans if we don't have an orphanage to call home? Are we still native Coronites? Do we even actually live here, or are we gonna get kicked out again? We don't have to cheer for the Coyotes now, do we?
Once upon a time, in a town not too far away, there lived a beautiful and intelligent queen named Mayor. One day, her precious peace was suddenly shattered by an invasion of annoying precious tiny elves. They had been banished from their lands of Corona by an evil dragon named Neighbor Mayor.
You think I'm dumb, Miss Mayor? I know gosh darn well I ain't no precious elf.
I was trying to make it easier for you to understand your situation.
Hey, let me explain the situation. 5 little kids in your town are homeless. You think that makes you look good?
I do not...
Quit messing around and build the damn orphanage already!
I shall see what I can do. Kids these days. Since you may be here for a while, shall we get to know each other?
I guess. What do you want to know?
How did you all, come to live together?
You mean how we were orphaned? Why do people always ask that?
I know it is a very personal question, but I would like to know.
Well, we all have different stories, obviously. Whose do you want to hear?
What happened to you and your sister?
It happened pretty recently, actually. Our parents were on vacation in Hawaii, visiting Pearl Harbor when...
Oh, God, Gregory. Did they die in the attack?
Die? Oh, no, they're not dead.
Wait, what? Then how are you orphans?
Mom and Dad met a crooked salesman, Lardy or Hardo or something. And he sweet-talked them into buying this big condo. Long story short, it was a scam. They'd run out of money and had to declare bankruptcy. The mayor seized all of their assets in Corona to help pay off their debts. And then he kicked us out of our house. That's how we ended up in the group home. Our parents never came back for us.
On the bright side, your parents are in a better place now. Tell me about Mr. Turner's situation.
Oh, Joey's story is really sad, in more ways than one. See, he went on a family trip to the Grand Canyon. They were having a great time, but then...
By George Washington's iconic white wig! Please do not tell me they jumped!
What? No! Joey just wasn't paying attention, so he got into the wrong car and fell asleep. It just so happened to be the mayor of Corona's car. He slept all the way back to Corona. By the time they realized what happened, Joey's family was long gone. The mayor tried to track them down for weeks with no luck. Finally, they just dropped him off at the orphanage, and that's that.
How did Mr. Lee become an orphan?
Huh. I don't actually know if he ever did become an orphan, or if that's just the way he was born.
What on earth does that mean?
He never had a mom or dad. We were just playing in the park one day and poof! Bobby appeared in a flash of blinding light, clothes and all.
You want me to believe this was a case of spontaneous conception? Who do you take me for?
Hey! Betty keeps telling the same story and everyone believes her.
None of those stories were true, were they?
No.
So, you lied to me?
Only in the sense that you expected me to tell the truth in the first place.
Well, I cannot wait for your new families to arrive here tomorrow and adopt you all.
Yay! We're getting adopted?
Haha, no. Let me ask you something else.
Fine by me.
Do you have any remaining family?
Well, we have an uncle.
Wonderful. Where does he live? I can have you sent to him immediately.
Yeah, that's the thing. Please don't. He has too many rules. Don't run in the house. Eat all your vegetables. Don't play with that white robe. It's not a ghost costume. I'm going out until morning, so keep the doors locked.
Forget I mentioned it. In fact, I think you should give Sheriff Coltrane your uncle's address immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
I have all the information I need.
If you say so.
What is it with the boxing gloves?
Oh, those nice gentlemen over there came to us this morning. They said if we gave their friends a good show, they'd give us medicine for Sandy.
What kind of show?
Tonight, get ready for the fight of your lives at Cooper's Manor! You will be witnesses to the match of the century! Greg Formula Fed Moore versus Bobby Babyface Lee!
Oh, I see. The very best of luck, I suppose. Do you know where I could find Miss Valentine?
Linda? Oh, she went to the diner with, what's his name? Slimmy? Sloppy? Sleepy?
Slim? John Slim?
Yeah, that guy.
I will be going now. Do behave yourselves.
Whatever.